Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers highlighted as potential scheme fit for talented QB riser. As the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency decision reaches a head at quarterback, head coach Mike Tomlin and general manager Omar must also weigh whether or not they truly love any of the rookie QBs that could fall to them in the 2025 NFL Draft. Initially billed as a weaker quarterback class, a few members of the group have been gaining steam following the NFL Combine, and the biggest riser in recent weeks could be Ole Miss prospect Jackson Dart. Ex-NFL general manager and former NFL Network draft analyst Mike Mayock talked about Dart as an option for the Steelers on March 3, and he appeared to really like the potential scheme fit with Arthur Smith and the Pittsburgh offense. "I think that Pittsburgh could look at a Jackson Dart and say, with what he does well, and we marry him to a run game and a defense, and we might have a situation that's similar to what we saw with Bo Nix in Denver last year," Mayock told the Rich Eisen show on Monday. He added that Dart is a talented kid that can spin it. Not to mention, earlier in the interview, Mayock even stated that he feels Dart is very similar to the higher-ranked Shedeur Sanders as a prospect. "There's two sides to every QB story here, and you gotta get the fit," Mayock concluded. Could Pittsburgh pull the trigger there, on Dart at number 21 overall? Sure. As of March 4, Mayock reiterated that he feels Cam Ward, Sanders, and Dart are the only three rookie signal callers that are worthy of a first-round selection in 2025. Steelers called top 3 NFL draft fit for Ole Miss QB Jackson Dart. On a similar note, the Draft Network's Justin Mello detailed his 3 best NFL draft fits for Dart on February 3, and the Steelers were right at the top of the list. "The Steelers find themselves in an interesting position at quarterback this offseason," Mello wrote at the time. "They endured a familiar season, qualifying for the playoffs before being dusted aside easily in the wild card round by their arch-rival Baltimore Ravens." He also noted that Russell Wilson is a free agent that may attract interest elsewhere, and Justin Fields' return is still a question mark after the midseason benching. Head coach Mike Tomlin may consider taking a swing at a quarterback after misjudging Kenny Pickett's abilities a few years ago, the analyst continued. Finishing, drafting a prospect like Dart or Jalen Milroe would give the Steelers another opportunity to find a long-term solution. And the Steelers should be intrigued by Dart's upside. Mello's other 2 top fits for Dart were developmental roles with either the Seattle Seahawks or the Los Angeles Rams. Does Jackson Dart's play style relate to Steelers QBs Justin Fields or Russell Wilson? With Fields or Wilson still being the most likely quarterback outcome as of March 4, it's fair to wonder if Dart's play style matches either. After all, owner and president Art Rooney too made it clear that he'd like the Steelers' quarterback room to employ similar QB talents, so there isn't a dramatic shift in the offense if the signal caller changes. Dart isn't as much of a pure and dynamic runner as Fields is, but Bleacher Report's Dame Parson did describe him as a strong and tough runner that told reporters he has modeled his game after Jalen Hurts. Dart is functional athletically to threaten unsuspecting defenses in the red zone, Parson scouted. He is comfortable extending plays, keeping his eyes down the field, and throwing on the move. His ability to get out of the pocket and make something happen makes it hard to defend the offense in the red zone. With that in mind, the Ole Miss prospect appears to be more accurate of a passer than Fields, even if he's less athletic. Dart uses multiple arm angles/slots to fit passes based on defender location, Parson wrote, regarding his ability as a passer. He throws with a quick, sound, and snappy release when kept clean in the pocket. If there is no pass rush or pressure threat, Dart is patient in the pocket to survey the field and go through his reads. He throws with good velocity in the short and intermediate parts of the field. Dart toggles between throwing with velocity and touch with good decision-making. His throwing mechanics are sound and clean. Dart generates enough torque to drive throws between into voids in the defensive coverages. As for weaknesses, Dart does not possess the play-action deep ball, mental processing or anticipation that Wilson does, making him more similar to Fields as an upside dual-threat talent with areas where he can improve. Here's what Justin Fields' contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers could look like. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Justin Fields needs a new contract if the team wants its plan to work, but what would that cost for the team? With a record-setting amount of cap space going into free agency, they can afford to pay up for someone like Fields. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated sees a very specific contract that Fields can garner either from the Steelers or someone else. He compared it to Sam Darnold's 1-year, $10 million from a year ago. That is what Breer believes could get it done. Speaking of the Steelers, this is, of course, a big week for Pittsburgh to try to get Justin Fields re-signed. He'll have options elsewhere. One team would be the New York Jets, and I wouldn't be stunned to see Indy throw its hat in the ring if he gets to the market. I think he has a shot to get a deal like Sam Darnold got with the Minnesota Vikings last year, Breer wrote. Fields went 4-2 in 6 starts for the Steelers in 2024. During that time, he scored a combined 10 touchdowns and had just 1 turnover. He never played as a starter after that, though there were times Fields came in during the Fields packages throughout the season. Pittsburgh wants Fields, but they are not the only team pursuing him. It seems the New York Jets are interested in Fields, as well as other teams such as the Las Vegas and Indianapolis Colts. Steelers reported to be interested in Giants receiver in free agency. New York Giants receiver Darius Slayton is set to his free agency. Could the Pittsburgh Steelers be a fit? The Pittsburgh Steelers will enter the 2025 season with another unproven or uninspiring passer under center. Maybe it's one of 2024's starters in Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, or a middling free agent like Sam Darnold or Jameis Winston. A portion of the fanbase is polling for a rookie quarterback early in April's NFL draft. Whomever it may be, they'll likely continue the Steelers' tradition of quarterback purgatory. But that hasn't halted the expectation of winning football in Pittsburgh, which demands that general manager Omar revamps his roster with the hopes of elevating a mediocre passer. Subsequently, the Steelers are reported to be interested in New York Giants receiver Darius Slayton in free agency. According to a source close to the situation, the Steelers are expected to have interest in Slayton in free agency, Noah Strackbine wrote for Sports Illustrated. The 28-year-old had a career low of just 573 yards and 2 touchdowns this past season, but as the Giants struggled to find success at quarterback, many around the league viewed their wide receiver core as talented but lacking the help they needed. Slayton isn't the star fans have been pining for since the trade market heated up ahead of the 2024 season, but he's another downfield perimeter threat who can attack on the play-action shots offensive coordinator Arthur Smith prefers. To his credit, he's been a model of consistency during his 6 seasons in New York. In 4 of his first 5 seasons, he saw between 700 and 800 yards. In 2024, the quarterbacking truly fell off, leaving him with just 573 yards and 2 scores on 71 targets. Slayton has scored just 13 touchdowns since finding the end zone 8 times as a rookie in 2018, but the shape of his production has remained relatively stable, albeit at the whims of inconsistent quarterback play. Pittsburgh knows what it'd be getting in Slayton, a boundary-deep threat with the occasional case of the drops and an encouraging locker room presence. Perhaps pairing him with Pickens off the field is as important as doing so between the sidelines, where Slayton can take advantage of his teammates' gravity. However, 2 aspects of the fit are cloudier than simply needing a receiver. Slayton is most comfortable in a similar role to Pickens, and he'll likely be looking for proven, quality quarterback play. The Steelers, of course, can't guarantee that. But with a healthy cap situation, they may be able to quiet those concerns with cash. And are you a fan? What do you think of the Darius Slayton situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.